Welcome back to another episode of Reality. Catherine and Elom are in the building.
Hi, guys.
What you're not saying, skin is glistening. Just got back from Spain. How's everything?
Good. Obviously, the weather adjustments.
Yeah.
It was like 40 degrees.
What was the weather like in Spain?
40 degrees.
What?
And I'm coming back to this.
There was a heat wave.
Damn.
Yeah.
And how long were you were there for? How many weeks?
I was there for like in the actual villa for like 5.5.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and then like 6 weeks with like the holding and stuff like that. So I've been in there for a while.
6 weeks in holding?
You know, with everything, yeah. So like the
Oh.
whole, yeah.
Oh, and how you were there? Was it like you had a good run though?
Do you know what? I did a dry run beforehand, so they flew me out early, and then I was there for like couple days, and then they flew me back to the UK, and then I had to come back again to Mallorca.
What do you mean a dry run?
Like, so basically a dry run is basically they test out all the cameras, they test out everything, see if everything's obviously working.
Yeah.
And then they go into the main show where obviously Catherine and the rest obviously go in as well. So there was 11 different islanders on there as well.
Oh.
And I was obviously one of them to obviously make it out of that dry run. And make
Did you
it
see
onto
the other islanders?
Yeah, I saw the other.
What?
11 different islanders.
Who were they? Just other people.
Yeah, other
Like,
people,
like, have you spoken to them? Like,
Yeah, I've spoken to them.
So they just didn't make it on the show.
Nah, I was the only person. that made it on the show.
Oh,
So I went from Casa.
Damn, I hope
the
they get on the
main
next
show.
season. Then. I'm so intrigued.
Listen.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
apparently you had to do like the trials and stuff
have
and
to
the
do
dry run, like
everything.
just to make sure
That is
everything
sick.
works.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've had a journey, man, but it's been eventful.
How did you guys get scouted? Did you apply? Did someone find you in a bar somewhere and be like, we want you on Love Island? Like, what was the deal? How did it happen for you both?
I must have applied, not this series, so like, I think the other series.
Yeah.
And like, I just got a call again. I was like, you know what, F it.
Let's just
like,
do it,
let
man.
me just do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's one in a lifetime. Like, you know, and I wouldn't change it as well. Like, not every day someone says, come on Love Island,
Yeah.
you know? But I feel like you still have to do the whole application as well. So even if they do DM you,
You still have to
you
apply.
still have to go through the whole process.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is scary. You remind me so much of you one day.
Really?
It's actually scary because I speak to you one day like regularly.
Really?
And can I say, right, you're from London, right?
Yeah.
I have only known of Black Irish people from Love Island. I've never met in real
Yeah.
life. I'm being honest. Like in real life, I've never met Black Irish people
Really? Every
until
time,
Love
yeah,
Island.
yeah. No, every time I meet
100%.
someone like prior to Love Island, everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're Black and you're Irish," and I'd be like,
I've not.
Yes.
Literally, it's so good.
There's
though.
such a big community out there,
and
like,
they
such a big
always
community.
get one a season.
Yeah, it's
I
so
look
funny.
Martin, Dammy, you one day. Yeah.
Like-
It's like,
Salma. I remember Salma
Oh,
from
yeah.
Casa Amor as well.
do they have casting producers standing at the airport in
No.
Dublin collecting all the black
I
people
don't
and come.
I actually don't even know. Like, I actually don't even know.
Damn. But look, obviously, like, you know, you leave the villa and you
Yeah.
see social media. I know it's been a lot for you. Are you okay?
Yeah, like I feel like every day does get better.
Mm.
Obviously the first day it's like you're dealing with emotions you've never dealt with before.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've always had like, you know, strong mind, strong head. But I won't lie to you, like it was a lot. It
Yeah.
was a lot.
Yeah. And obviously you were kind of getting dragged into it as
Yeah,
well.
okay.
Like, how was
do you
it?
know what? Do you know what it is? Like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Do you understand? Like, and at the end of the day, when you're doing something right, you're always gonna get haters, and like they
Yeah.
want to be in a position that you're in, but they just can't. So I just laugh at it, really.
Yeah. How did you feel about people calling you Jeffrey?
listen. I got my phone. Yeah, I got my phone, and like, I was seeing Joffrey. I was like, what the hell? I stood up, I looked in the mirror, I was just like, no way.
I really had that moment.
I
Like,
was like- I
do
was-
I look like Jeffrey?
Nah.
Do I look like
Listen,
Jeffrey?
I woke up one morning, you know when you sit on the end of your bed and you start to just deep life, you just sit there. I looked up and I looked in the mirror, I was like, no way I look like Joffrey. They're violating.
They really pushed him.
Listen.
They pushed him to go into the mirror and be
They
like,
pushed him to the mirror.
be like, do
and
I
look
actually
at him.
do it?
Nah. Twitter is a ruthless place.
It is
you know?
ruthless.
I delete that app.
But I don't actually think you look like Jeffrey.
I don't see it as well, you know.
I just think sometimes on screen, yeah, with dark-skinned
Yeah.
people, like, you can look even darker.
Oh, yeah,
But I still
definitely.
don't think you look like Jeffrey. I don't know where... Not Catherine. Not Catherine yelling.
Oh my gosh, man. But,
No, But people were dragging you because remember you were like, guys, I'm going on
It's like
Aftersun
you
tonight.
dressed.
No.
Listen,
You were
I was
like,
just
I'm going on Aftersun tonight. I'm gonna spill all the tea. And on Twitter, I was like, guys, Elom's gonna spill the tea. I'm like, what? Let me put it on record. I was like, what's he gonna say? And the way you were just sat on that chair, people that talk
but
then.
you know what it is? Like, we had questions. listen, Will. Listen.
Talk then.
Listen, Will. Do you know what happened?
Will is like,
let
come
me
on,
land.
spill. You just feel like Aftersun, come here and
Let me
spill.
land. You see at Aftersun, they give you questions to answer.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really spill tea. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really
Yeah,
spill
yeah.
tea in it. But
You
I
must
saw
have-
something like, I saw a little something. Like,
You must have left the studio and been like, they're getting on to me. You're like, where's the tea?
Listen, I saw the it started off with Joffrey comments, and then after I went on live, I was seeing spill the tea, and then after the Aftersun, oh my gosh, it was just
People like it was lukewarm tea.
It's like water.
It's just like, did you even put on the kettle? Like, do you know what I mean?
It's crazy, man.
All right, let's speak about the beginning of your villa journey, Catherine. Who was you with in the beginning? It was Andre.
I was with Andre, so the public put me with Andre. Yes.
Oh, big fan of Andre, man.
Yeah,
great
no,
guy.
Andre is really
great,
nice.
Great
He's so
guy.
sweet.
He's
He
so
honestly
cool.
is so sweet. Like
Andre, no, but you were shady because I remember when I think was the Zach picture. You walked, you were like, bye.
yeah, do you know what? I feel like at the beginning, like I literally only had wasn't it a day with Andre
Yeah.
before Zach like took me, so I didn't feel like any loyalties as such, or like we're all beginning our journey.
Yeah,
Like we're
it was
all
all
still
new.
like we're all like still adjusting to villa life. Like is this real? We are actually here. Like so when I got put with Zach, I was like, oh well, I have to explore Zach because he's picked me and he stole me and he didn't have to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of just forces you to kind of like explore your options kind
Yeah.
of thing. And like I was in a couple with him. You stay in the bed with this guy, and like realistically in the villa, whoever you're in a couple with, you naturally spend more time with.
Yeah.
So it became that thing.
Yeah. And then obviously after Zach, you were back with Andre. But I feel like when you got back with him after, it seemed a little bit more serious. I felt like it looked like there was a bit
was
more
getting somewhere,
emotion.
right?
Like it looks a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it was weird because I wanted to see more of it, but I don't feel like we saw a lot of
Yeah.
that on screen.
Yeah. I feel like obviously when I got back with Andre after the whole Zach situation, like obviously Andre dropped it on me when I was mourning, when I was like, oh yeah, like Zach did this mad thing to me. Andre, you care about me. Tell me what's been said. He's like, well, I want to get to know you. Like that was what I like how it was brought out to me. It's like, I'm after just having tears in my eyes and you're telling me this. And then obviously that's when Ruchi got angry. I was like, what? Like you saw an opportunity and blah, blah, blah. Like, so I think in that moment it was just very heated. But then when we got back, it was good. But I feel like it was trying to get there. Like, that's what I felt like. Obviously, Andre's a nice guy. We do get along, but we're, again, we're still adjusting. Like, you're emotionally invested into one thing, then you're jumping into another thing. And it's like, actually, I want to take it slow because I don't want to go fast again. And then the same thing happens. So it was a lot of that.
Yeah. And then after Andre was Scott, I think, right? Was it Scott?
So,
No, it was
no.
Zach.
Scott? Was it Zach again?
No.
No, so it was
after
Andre.
and then it was Scott.
Yeah. And then it was Scott.
Yeah.
I liked you two in that point.
Yeah.
At that point, you looked like proper. Sorry, no shade. I know.
It's cool.
I bet it's so awkward.
It's cool, bro.
People be talking
You're like, what
Scott,
about me?
And I'm like,
what you talking about, Willis? Yeah. But at that point, you two really seemed like you were getting on before Casa. Like, it looked like, and I'm sure you must have been watching the show from holding, thinking, could I even break this? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it looks like you two were proper, like, Twitter, everyone was shipping you two.
Yeah.
Like, so in that moment.
It's so crazy because no one said that. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean? Like, even bombshells that came in, no one was saying that. Yeah, like, no one was saying that. So it was like, it was so different for me. But, like, I did enjoy my time with Scott. Like, obviously, when he pulled me for a chat, I was the first one he pulled for a chat. And, like, we got along. Like, obviously, he lives in Dublin. He's not from Dublin, but he lives in Dublin. Obviously, I grew up there.
Yeah.
So it was just, like, a lot of, like, familiarity. Like, everyone in the villa had their own familiarity. Like London, a lot of people from, like, Essex side or West London. Like, everyone, like, had their own. Whereas, like, Scott and I, like, that was our own. Like, we're just vibing off Dublin. Like, I could banter off what a spice bag is to him. Do you know what I mean? And we were talking about the chipper. Like it was just normal, good conversation at that time, So, yeah.
No, I'm listening. And then, obviously, with Scott, right, he was, like, proper putting it on you. Like, he liked you a lot.
Yeah.
And who is it that said, was it Sammy, who was like, Scott doesn't like her?
Yeah.
It was so confusing because it was like, he's literally in the beach shop being like, I really like Catherine. Like, so I think
we were shocked as well. Like, obviously, in my comments, like, obviously, I turned to the girls and I was like, well, Scott hasn't ever said it unless there's something I'm missing.
He never
you
said
know, unless
that.
there's something I'm missing. Like, did he ever say to you something that I was unattractive, or like, you know, like that's what I was feeling in the moment. And like, if he didn't say it, you're projecting, and that's
Yeah.
what I felt in that moment.
Well, what do we? Let's decipher this, right? Because I had a whole conversation on Twitter about. I was going back and forth
Yeah.
with people, right? He is just assuming.
Yeah.
He's got this idea in his head
Yeah.
that no, Scott
Yeah.
just wouldn't go for
Like
Catherine.
when see,
Why?
I don't
Why?
know. Like realistically, I'm not gonna decipher it fully in it, but
Boy.
I think like, you know, from the get go, when Sammy walked in, he didn't look at me. He didn't look at Whitney. Like he didn't look at us. So obviously we knew we weren't his type, but that was fine. You know, that was
Yeah.
fine. We all have our types. You know, we could be friends, kind of thing. So obviously when that situation happened, I was like,
It's a bit weird.
are you looking at me like that? Like, why are you assuming such? Do you know what I mean? Like,
'Cause there
why-
was no need to assume
exactly.
such.
Like, and especially like with like that situation, that whole day they separated all the couples.
Yeah.
So for the whole day, because we were so used to being with each other 24/7. Okay, so that whole day when we had to vote the least compatible couple, was
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I think it was the least compatible couple. That whole day when we had to vote the least compatible couple, we were all separated, and like, so you had the whole day to think of your reasoning. It wasn't 5 minutes. It wasn't an hour. Like, it was the whole day. Like, you know, me and Scott were in the lounge away from everyone else. This and this were upstairs. Like, everyone was just separate. So you had to have a good reason, you know? So for me, it's like you had that all that time, and that's what you say.
Yeah.
You know?
It was really, really weird. But yeah, like
Yeah.
Scott liked you a lot at that time.
Yeah.
in
But
my
he did
opinion.
apologize for the comment. Sammy did.
And
yeah.
you were upset though.
Yeah, I
The
was.
it's good that the girls had your back, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I was really happy to see the girls
Yeah.
like with you when you confronted him. So
Yeah.
at least he
Yeah,
apologized.
no, Whitney was there.
Yeah, it was really really good to see
Yeah,
that.
even that whole conversation, like, half of it wasn't
was
shown.
weird.
Like, it was even shown. It was
Wow.
such a weird conversation. Like, he went on to saying sex is the most important thing in a relationship, and we were like, well, how do you, like, what? Like, we were so confused about that conversation ourselves. Like,
Oh, so even in that conversation, he said that.
yeah.
So he said
yeah.
sex is the most important thing in a relationship.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with?
Exactly our point, which is probably why they didn't air it, because it didn't.
So maybe he was insinuating that Scott
There-
doesn't find you sexually attractive.
Yeah,
But what?
and
Where's this
that's
come from?
and that's what me and Scott were like. So obviously, I feel like we kept going through these kind of little hiccups in the villa
Yeah.
where people make comments and it's like, where are you getting that from, or this is that. So it's like, yeah. Then obviously that's what kind of brought us
Yeah.
closer. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. But look, Sammy did apologize.
Yeah, he
so
did. He
that's
did
all done
apologize, and
dusted.
me and Sammy are close now.
Yeah, yeah,
like we
cool.
are, you know, we banter off each other. You know, teaching them how to do some.
That's good. And then Casa or Amor came.
Yeah.
Now, when Casa arrived, did you think you would like have your head turned, or did you think that you were gonna like be open to talk to people? Like before you went in and obviously met Elom, like what was your thought process before? Because obviously I know
So,
they kind of
yeah.
just whisked you guys away, but
Yeah.
like what was your thought process?
Realistically, in the villa, everyone knew Casa was coming. So like obviously where we talk about so much every day, Casa was a conversation that everyone would talk about.
Wow.
Exactly. We just didn't know when it was coming, but we felt it's coming, you know? But no one knew it was going to be the night of Neo, because Neo's already a big thing.
Yeah.
So no one actually knew it was going to be the night of Neo, but everyone's already having conversation in their couples, like, what would you do if Casa comes? The boys are having conversation with themselves. So Scott and I did have a conversation, and we were just saying we are open to like new bombshells.
Oh, cool.
And like, if Casa comes, would be open to find new connections. So obviously in my head, I took that on as like, you know, he's
Yeah.
open, do you know? So that was my thought process going into that. And obviously you can imagine everything that was going on at the time as well, the game playing situation and whatnot. Like, so it was just like, I need to be open kind of thing.
Yeah. Then you two met each other.
Yeah.
What was it like the first second you locked eyes? Was it like you just knew it was like tension? Like what was like the feeling between you two?
Not gonna lie, the first night was very strange. It was very
It
strange.
was like gather around the fire pit and just
Yeah, it
introduce
was very
ourselves, innit?
strange because we were adjusting to being away from home. Like,
Yeah.
like we were like, why did we have to go? Like, we were going through a lot of emotions ourselves, like
Yeah.
within the girls. So realistically, on the first day, I was actually quite like not closed, but I was kind of closed
was
off.
weird, yeah.
I was like, you know, I wasn't really trying to chat to anyone. Like, you know, I had to get the nudge kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
No, for us, like, it was this thing where for all the Casa people, they were like, yeah, cool, lads holiday, you know what time it is, girls are here, set pace. That's what it was like for us. So like, I spoke to. I don't feel like they aired it as well. I spoke to a couple of people like Leo, Whitney, Jess, but they didn't really air it like that. And then when I obviously spoke to Catherine, I was like, yeah, say no more. Like, she's actually an interesting person.
So that's where you feel like this is going to be the connection I'm going to build on.
100%.
Wow. Sorry, where are we now? Are you guys together like that? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, so we're still obviously exploring because we obviously don't leave.
What does exploring mean?
Exploring is still like.
Sorry, I want to get to the bottom of this, you know.
Exploring is still talking stages. Like, yeah.
We're still trying to get to know each other. Like, being in the villa.
It's so different to being
not
outside.
having that privacy as well. Like,
yeah.
It's hard.
Because obviously, I'm sure you saw the tweets. People were like, your body language on Aftersun, it was given very like, we're not together.
No,
like,
Aftersun was very nerve-wracking. It was live TV. Like, I've never done that before. Exactly. Like, I've actually never sat in front of a screen and had to talk, you know, so it was very, like, obviously I've done it now a few times between Aftersun and now, so it's obviously more comfortable.
Yeah.
But, like, on Aftersun, I was just, like, dealing with, obviously, social media, dealing with, you know, me. Like, I was just nervous. I was just nervous. And, like, obviously, yeah.
So what are the next steps? Where are you taking Catherine? Where's the first date?
Do you know
where are you going?
Do you know
Where are you spending that cash?
Do you know what? Do you know what it is? Like right now, like we've obviously been in the limelight for quite some time right now. We're just trying to do things like privately, so like private dates and like. Just
what are the dates? Tell me, we want to know.
We haven't planned, so but we haven't even been out of the villa a week yet. Like we literally haven't even been out of the.
People want to know where you guys are going on a date.
Yeah, but like we don't even know. Like we're like we don't even know. It's hard to tell someone when you don't even know. Do you know? Like I feel like people need to realize like yes, we've come out of Love Island, but we are still normal people. Yeah. And like before Love Island, you know, you don't meet someone one day and take them on a date the next day. Like that 100%. Doesn't happen, you know? So it's just kind of like.
So you're in the talking stages, you're just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So not in a relationship, not necessarily exclusive, but just like talking and getting to know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Back to Casa. What made you want to bring Elom back?
I think.
And obviously, you know, leave Scott.
Yeah. So, no, my plan was never to leave Scott. Like my plan was actually just to get to know Elom, like just have more time because Casa Amor is actually a short amount of time. Like we literally only had 3 days, and in them 3 days it was very stop-starty. So like you couldn't have like flowing conversations as such, you know. So my goal, and I think the way the girls approach it was kind of like we're bringing them back to have, you know, more time to see if there is like anything there, if there is anything further of like, you know, if it does compare to our current connection and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was never like a goodbye is how the boys took it. Like we were surprised how the boys took it, you know? Wow. Like, yeah.
And how did you feel when you saw Scott there with no one?
Obviously I felt shit. Like, obviously I felt shit. Like, because in my head it was like, there was no doubt he was going to recouple and everyone was saying the same thing. Even the Casa boys were saying the same thing. Like, everyone's like, you know, everyone was saying all that.
No, but the people were saying like, if Gabby, you know Gabby, right? Gabby from Casa Amor. If Gabby gave Scott the right attention, he would have obviously brought Gabby back. That's what I've been hearing as well. So,
wow.
It was mixed emotions like anyway.
There was so much shit that wasn't aired that, you know, led up to that. Like a lot of the fiery moments between me and Scott. Like just like, you know, the Casa girls telling us the tea from Casa. Yeah.
They spilled the tea. What did they say?
Like, sorry, the girls that stayed. They were just saying stuff like, I don't know, like what basically Alan said just there. And like, you know, the boys were making comments about like lineups and stuff like just very silly stuff. And like, you know, it made it look as if you never even cared kind of thing. So it was just like, it was basically I was hearing, a girl should never hear the boys chat. That's what I would say, but we were getting the boys chat. Yeah. And it was obviously not nice to hear for any of us.
Damn. So what was like the energy like in the villa? Was it tense even with you?
The fire pit.
Fire pit and afterwards.
Do you know
like
what?
First day back.
I feel like walking in, I was like, yeah, cool. I'm the guy walking in. Like I got Catherine, and then when you stand around the fire pit, you're just like, oh shit, this shit is actually real. Do you understand? Like,
I was shaking.
Literally, like it was just.
I've
crazy.
never ever shake that much.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very tense moment.
But do you know what it was like? The next day, like the next morning, everything was like calm. Like everyone was just getting to know each other. Yeah. Like the guys obviously introduced me to like everyone in the villa as well. So they made me feel welcome as well.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So with Scott now, where are things with you two? Like, you're cool.
We're
it's all sorted
good.
out?
We're really, really good. Like, it's such a shame they didn't show like the good moments after and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, we were actually like, you know, me, Scott, Whitney, we were like the closest. You know, yeah. So like, they didn't show a lot of that
So it's
as well.
all good vibes.
It was all good vibes,
Or
honestly.
let's talk about movie night.
Okay.
Movie night was a madness.
Yeah.
So obviously you will remember because you were there. There was the point where I think it was you and was it? I forgot who it was.
Leah, yeah.
Yeah, Leah said to Scott, or kind of like, no one wanted you in Casa or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Watching the clips back and everything.
Obviously, it's like crazy watching the clips back because, like, the sequence didn't happen like the sequence it did, kind of thing.
Ooh.
Like there was just a lot of back and forth between the boys and girls
Yeah.
that wasn't like shown, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so like the boys got us very heated and whatever. And Amber actually started the whole thing with the Scott thing.
Wow.
Because she's obviously the one that carried that
Yeah.
from Casa and brought it over. So she said it, and Aaliyah's like, oh, like, I don't want to say it because Amber's the one, like, you say it. Like, I don't want to be the one saying. And the boys are like, you know, being boys and like trying to wind us up and like be like, say it then, say it. Like, it was very like,
Oh,
yeah.
but we
it was
didn't
very,
see that.
Yeah, so it was very like, you know, whatever. And it's like,
'Cause it looked like you
don't
just-
mumble, don't do this. Like, it was very like that. And then Mitch's like, oh, like, she's angry over a bond. This is that. Like, it was just very like,
Oh, so they were actually like provoking.
yeah,
they were,
like you
pointing at
you guys were on that trend. The boys were really going back and forth.
Oh,
with us,
and then obviously
exactly.
you kind of got annoyed.
Yeah,
and
so
then
they
said
were
that.
then so they're asking every girl like what was said, and I was like, why isn't these girls saying it? Like, just say, because Amber's the one that said it. Like, this is what you said. And I was like, oh, she said no one wants you. Like, that was how like it was. But I was even directing the comment. Scott, it was more at Mitch because Mitch was coming at me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's angry over like a silly suitcase, silly bonnet. Like, it was just very like, yeah, it was very like I was angry with them comments. You
Yeah.
know, but that wasn't shown.
Okay, because it
Yeah.
looked like you just said it, and everyone like, whoa.
No. I was actually riled up because there was a whole suitcase situation. And, like, you know, Mitch knew how I felt about it. So when he was taking the piss out of it, like saying, because of a bonnet, over a bonnet. And I was like, bitch, please. Like, shut up. Like, that was getting me
Wow.
angry. Like, and
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, no, it's not over a bonnet. Basically, and like obviously none of the girls are still saying what Amber said, so I said it
Yeah.
to shut them up because
Okay,
it was
fine.
it was like constant until
That makes more sense
Yeah.
now, you know. It makes sense. How did
Yeah.
you find movie night?
Movie night was calm for me. Like,
Yeah.
I knew how I was moving in Casa. Like, I knew there was not going to be tensions between me and obviously Catherine.
and
as
it's
well.
so crazy because
Like-
at movie night, me and Scott were still in a good place.
Oh, wow.
And the crazy thing about it was like, because I don't know, I was obviously speaking to family and friends and stuff. Like, they showed us like the Elom tape, and like the start of it was like, I don't want to disrespect Scott. Like me, what I was saying
That's
to
what I'm
Elom
saying.
in
That didn't even
Casa,
air on
but that didn't
TV
air
as
on
well.
TV. So it was to us, we're all calm, but then to TV, we're not calm.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to know as well. That like they showed us that movie, but they didn't show the viewers that kind of thing.
And like when I obviously put out on my YouTube that I'm going to be interviewing you guys, everyone had one question. Did you apologize to Scott for that specific comment?
Yeah, but it wasn't. Look, it wasn't directed at Scott.
Yeah.
So he like that's why there was never like any like tension about that comment with us.
Oh.
But after we had the conversation, like when we had that fire pit conversation, they got the most heated bit of that conversation.
Yeah.
But that conversation started with apologies from
Yeah.
both sides, because obviously there was comments that Scott had made too, but again didn't get aired.
Yeah.
And there was comments that obviously I made, and like we started off with apologies. Then we started off with understanding where like how my thought process went, and you know really understanding it, and like blah blah blah. And then then it was understanding. Then it got heated again. Like, but it was like a long 40-minute conversation that they
Wow.
took like 3 minutes from. Do you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing like islanders leave the villa, like Casa, and like I'm seeing people speaking about Scott, and some people it's like, oh, he was getting this situation, that situation, but we're not seeing that on screen. So it's like, he looks quite unproblematic on screen. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to.
Why are you chuckling, Elom? He's sipping his tea. Why are you chuckling? What's the deal? I don't know. He seems unproblematic on screen, but then everyone's coming out and dropping a little sprinkle.
There's just a lot you don't see on
That's what I'm
TV.
saying,
That's
like-
just it.
Wow.
That we naturally thought it'd be picked up.
Okay.
Because it's juicy kind of thing. But
But what is it?
there's no like Like even the fire pit game playing moments, that wasn't just a 5 minute. Like it was a long thing where people were dissecting the comments.
Yeah.
But that wasn't shown as well.
Okay.
You know, so it was a lot. You know, but again, I never took it so seriously as probably the other islanders.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was in a couple with him. I liked him. I just thought like, you know, don't dissect someone else when you're not when he's not dissecting you guys, kind of thing. So that was my stance on it.
Wow. Okay, fine. What was the situation? There's this gossip going around. Apparently, like KD had a disagreement with you, Whitney, and Ella, or something like that. That wasn't aired.
Oh, this was in Casa, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
It was silly. It was silly. Yes, it did get loud. They did get heated, but like.
And did security guards really have to run in?
No, there was no security guards.
Why would the Casa girls saying that?
I don't know why. The Casa girls weren't there. There was no security.
They were probably like, yeah, the security running. It was crazy. It was
No.
crazy.
He said that.
No, you guys were in the
No,
bedroom.
but we heard everything. We was like, this is the first night, and we're hearing
Yeah,
arguments.
the first
and we're
night
like,
was
what?
not it.
But what
Like-
was it? What happened?
We just had too many ones.
Oh, yeah.
We just had too many ones. Like even in the morning when we had to like debrief, we couldn't even explain the sequence. Like we didn't understand how it got to that point, kind of thing. It was just one of them nights.
Yeah.
I feel like emotions were just really
Yeah,
high
just
that
girls
night.
had a couple drinks.
Yeah, like that
nothing
night we were
deep.
all in tears.
Yeah.
Like every single one of us
Everyone
was
was
in
just
tears
emotional.
in different like situations. Like so, you know, yeah, it was just very high emotions.
Yeah. What are we thinking about all the couples? So we're going to go through them. Actually, Whitney questioned whether Zach took the easy way out with Molly the other day.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about that? Because, I don't know, Zach and Molly do seem quite genuine, but what do we think about Whitney's thought process there?
I think it comes from him obviously wanted to get to know Katie. When she picked him, like he was straight on to Katie. They got along. We all thought that they got along. When he recoupled with Molly, that was the end. There was no conversation. They left it open. Then he kisses Katie. Molly, they kiss each other basically.
Yeah.
And it's just like there was obviously something there with Katie. There was just never any end to it. And maybe she felt like, you know, he had a second chance, so he didn't want to throw it away.
Yeah.
Rather than actually just giving himself, you know, the full Love Island experience. That's
No,
it.
but I do think that Zach and Molly best suit each other.
I do think so too.
he
Like
Zach sometimes he doesn't think like that, but he likes Molly. Like I've been speaking to him when I was in the villa as well. He's saying that his heart is with Molly, but at the same time, there's unfinished business with Katie as well.
yeah,
so,
and I think that's where that
Yeah.
comment stemmed from. Like I don't think like, you know, there's no doubt he likes Molly and he gets along with Molly or whatnot. But I think it stemmed from like, you know, I don't know, from Whitney's perspective, maybe like what Zach usually goes for, him not ending stuff with Katie, and then him being with Molly. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we're going through the couples, but basically on tonight's episode, Whitney calls Ella selfish. I don't think you've seen it yet.
I don't think it's deep
It's
because
not that deep.
we say it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, like, but not in a way like that. We're like, oh, like, you know, like Ella's just Ella. Like Ella's just Ella. We know she's our girl, so we don't like.
So it's more of like a friendship.
I think it's more of a
disagreement.
friendship.
So it's not like a proper like.
I don't think
fallout.
Ella will ever take it to heart. Like I don't think it's ever a big fallout. I never
Yeah.
think it's that. Like we are friends. You know, stuff obviously does get said, but no one takes it to heart.
It's not
like
that deep.
I think it's honestly like a playful like, but you're selfish. Like, but you're like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think it's a fight.
Yeah. What we thinking of Whitney and Loken?
Locken.
Yeah.
Loken, yeah.
Yeah, I love them, man. I love them. Like when we was in the villa, we was obviously spending time with them a lot. Locken is a vibe. Whitney's a vibe as well. Like they're just nothing but energy between them. Impeccable.
Wow. Does Whitney know that the public love her? Like
Yeah.
to the extent.
Yeah.
How does she know?
People come in and say Whitney, like bombshells come in and be like, oh Whitney, my mom loves you, or something like that. Or like I remember one of the fire pit moments, Maya was like, hey Whitney, like it was like, yeah, you could tell, yeah.
Wow.
And like whoever came in would say like, you're loved.
Because people are just like, let Whitney win. Whoever she's with, no matter
honestly,
what.
Whitney's amazing. Like Whitney is literally amazing. Like she's literally like was my closest in there. Like we literally were like together like all the time.
Yeah.
Like she actually has a heart of gold. Like
You see with Whitney as well, she has no filter. If she doesn't like you, she's gonna say it straight. Like she's ruthless with it as well. But at the same time, she has a clean heart. She'll say what the issue is, she'll address it, and then she'll just
I don't
move
think
on
she
from
doesn't not like anyone.
No, she
like
doesn't.
I don't think she'd ever like be like I don't like
it.
you.
No,
I
but
think
she'll say
she'd
like
give.
comments and like, yeah. You would
I
know
think
that
she's
with-
just honest.
She's just real with
Honestly,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm saying, no
yeah, she's
filter.
just real. Like yeah, I don't think it's like, I don't think it's negative. Like I honestly
Nah.
think it's like
Yeah.
positive. Like
100%.
like you have to be real. You know,
Yeah.
you can't be fake. Is what I'll say, especially in that villa.
And I can't lie, I've been loving Tyreek and Ella's journey, man.
Me too.
It's
It
been
was like a love
this,
story.
Like this, like this.
Like what I always say to people, when you watch a movie, you literally see the highs, you see the lows. By the end, love prevails, and
Yeah.
for me, that's watching Ty and Ella.
I think they'll stay together, you know.
Oh,
after
they
the
will.
show.
They will for sure. For sure.
What's your opinion on Elom?
I feel like
Yeah, but
When
you
you
came
come-
in at Casa.
I
You
came
didn't
in-
see
okay,
the
okay,
full
okay.
journey.
I have seen certain things as well, innit? Like
What have you seen?
I thought I'm just saying I've seen like what actually happened after Casa, how they're obviously working together to actually amend what was actually going between them. But at the same time, when you start to get your phone and you start to see messages and like, I feel like Ty's head could turn,
I
but
don't
at the same
think so.
time, he really likes Ella as well.
But you think his head could still turn?
I
Yeah,
don't think
100%.
so.
Wow.
100%.
You don't think
That's
so?
what
Why?
I think, innit?
I've been there from the start, okay? And they've had their journey, but they're in love, okay?
100%.
They're actually in love. And it's like, do you think lust will break love? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it won't. Like, I think it's just more about having trust outside. But I don't
feel
think, I think that could break it, but not like him actually doing something. I don't think he'd do anything.
No, he wouldn't do it.
And like to be fair, they're not in a relationship either. So it's just what they agree within themselves and like
Yeah.
how they want to move forward with it. Do you know what I mean? Like yes, they said I love you, but like people are saying heads could turn whatever, but like they're still not in a relationship. It just depends on how they speak to each other. Like, you know, like I've been there when they talk about moving it. Like I've been there when, you know, they've gone through so like they talk and they talk deeply, you know? So I just do feel like it will work. It's just going to be a lot of trials, but it'll
That's
work.
what I'm saying. It's
But
gonna be a-
relationship is not like, it's not
Especially-
relationship without trials.
especially coming out the villa. No, just think about it. Especially coming out the villa, like you're gonna get so many.
Is that
people
what
coming-
you're going through?
I'm not going. I'm not even going through any of that.
pushing this.
No, but I'm not even going through that. I'm just thinking like, cool. Listen, I'm just thinking like, cool. He's gonna step out the villa. You know how Ty was with all the bombshells as well.
No,
Most of the bombshells.
you weren't there.
But I was seeing it as
Yeah,
I
but
was a
that's
viewer.
being- yeah,
as a
but-
viewer, I was seeing it.
Yeah, but what you guys didn't see was him still saying Ella, Ella,
Yeah,
Ella,
cool.
Ella.
I did see parts of it as well, but I'm just saying, possibly 50-50. I feel like his head will turn slightly.
I don't think it's a 50-50. I think it's a much higher percentage.
You know what, Elom? You do tell on yourself sometimes, you know.
Well, how?
Remember that time in the villa when you pulled Catherine and you were
Yeah.
like, what did you say? You were like, oh, if a new bombshell comes in.
Yeah,
and you
of
weren't
course.
even really giving a proper, because first you were like, if a new bombshell comes in, I want to explore.
No, he,
And then-
he started off
said-
with, where
Go on.
I'm too comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I was,
what do you
I was
mean?
too. Do you know
What does
with
that
me,
even
yeah?
mean? Because
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Listen.
Even me, I was like,
I was like, what are you trying to say
What?
here? And then you start
Yeah.
backtracking when you got scared, when you clocked that you knew what you were trying to say.
No, but
Then you start
listen.
backtracking.
It's not
Like, what's
even.
the-
do you
like
know what
he
it was,
knows
yeah?
after he said that, my whole demeanor changed. Like I was like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
cool.
Because obviously
But the
I
same-
open up and then it's like you're saying that to me, so my wall's going straight back up, kind of.
There was no bombshell. So where
I
did
was
this all come
saying,
from?
No, I wanted to keep it straight from the jump, innit?
Okay.
So if a bombshell did come in, yeah, cool, I'll get to know where you get. But at the same time, I was thinking too much into the future. I wasn't thinking about present time
sometimes
as well,
just
innit?
take things as it comes, you
I
know?
said that
Like,
to
Like-
sometimes,
I was
sometimes
literally
I'll be
like
sitting in
him,
the
like-
corner like,
why are you wishing for a bombshell to come in? Like
I wasn't wishing for a bombshell to come in. I was just.
But you were
making it
thinking
straight.
about it.
I was thinking about it. Yeah, I was thinking about it. But
But
at the same
if you-
time, I would like to. If a bombshell was to come in at any point, she will know what I'm thinking. Do you understand? I don't want it to be like out of surprise that I'm. You get.
Sir.
'Cause I never gave him any-
If you're getting to know someone, right,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no other temptation in front of you, you're getting to know someone. Why are you already thinking about what might or might not happen
Mm.
if you're getting to know this lady? Hello?
for me, I always
Hello?
live life in life.
I think too much into the future, innit?
Yeah.
I think too much into the future. I should really just think about present time.
Yeah.
I think always just live life. When the problem comes, it comes. But
Yeah.
Don't make it your problem until.
What a great way
like,
to let a woman know that
until-
she's second best. What an amazing way.
Yeah, no.
That you think she's second best.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when that happened?
Obviously, I was like, what the fuck? Because it's like, you know, we've had good times. So in them good times, were you always like, think that was what was going through my head at that point. Like in them good times, like, were you thinking about a bombshell? Were you, you know, like, you know how I felt anyways. Like we spoke about it.
Yeah.
Like it was obviously just shit. You know what I mean?
It wasn't
shit.
easy. I can imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
And did you feel bad after you did it? Because you must have been like, crap. I kind of maybe
I felt bad, but at the same time, that was on my mind. Like, what do you want me to? What do you want me to do? Like, if
Yeah, that's how you
if
felt. That's how you
if
felt.
something's on my mind, I'm just gonna speak it, innit? Like, I'm not gonna hold it in and be a waste
Okay.
and
It was on
say
his
it, innit?
mind. He had to speak it.
I had to speak
Okay,
it.
so now we're in the outside world. Is this still your mentality?
And that's what I asked
but-
him.
it's not even my
Because
mentality.
it's like,
innit?
I stick by it. I do this, I do that, but then...
It's not even my mentality, innit? Like, I obviously pulled Catherine for a chat later on in the day, and I was just like, cool. What we've obviously built from Casa up until now, I wouldn't want to chuck it away, innit? I wouldn't want to do any of that. So I was just like, yeah, cool. I just need to think about being in the present time and stop thinking about being in that future time as well, innit?
Yeah.
So I have been working on it as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like right now in your life you are genuinely looking for a relationship?
Right now in my life, am I genuinely looking for a relationship? Do you know what it is? Like,
That's a no.
no. Listen, Will, let me land.
Yeah, right, we'll let you.
land. Like currently, I wanna focus on myself and at the same time focus on Catherine as well. Listen, Will. Hey, nah,
Digging
listen.
himself a hole, isn't he?
Listen.
He's digging himself a hole.
Listen, Will, let me land.
Okay,
Let me land.
sorry.
Let me land. See, coming out of the villa is like a thing where
I'm trying to make sense.
No, let him
let me land. Coming out of the village, there's obviously a lot of limelight on both of us, innit? And we both need to focus on ourselves. So I feel like if we both focus on ourselves, in due time, we're still talking to each other, we're still bonding at the same time. In due time, we're gonna get to that stage. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Catherine, do you want a man who's ready for you?
Yeah.
Fine.
But obviously, I went into Love Island because, you know, I do feel like I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready to settle, like, you know, whatever. I don't want to build someone kind of thing. And I've always kind of said that. Yeah.
Fine. Anyways, what are we thinking of Jess and Sammy?
Jess is my girl. Like, literally, when I walked in, like, I feel like day one, like, me and Jess were like this. Wow, she was just like, you know, that crazy girl that you need. You know, we used to just be weirdos together. Like, we would just do weird stuff. Like, we'd crawl on the floors. We'd do weird faces to each other. Like, we just laugh. We'd sit on the terrace for hours, just do, like if they watched it, they'd be like, what is going on here, kind of thing. So she's so lovely, but she falls hard. That's the thing with Jess. Like, she's one of them where she reminds me of one of my other friends back home. So, like, I knew how hard it is, you know, when you fall hard for someone and, like, you kind of overlook every single thing that they do, kind of thing. Even if the red flags sit in front of you, you over kind of look at, because you see the best in people. And that's the kind of person she sees the best in people. Like, she hangs on to the good, you know. I think that just shows her.
No, Sammy's a nice guy. Like, being in the villa, I actually spoke to him, and they've obviously had a long journey as well. Just going with the what's his name again? The new bombshell that came in that just recently got kicked out.
Josh.
Yeah. She obviously went with Josh. Sammy went with Mal. So they've had a long journey. But
I don't think she I feel
really like Sammy. 100%.
Yeah, she likes Sammy. That's the thing.
Is Sammy showing her the affection that she deserves and needs?
I think now, yes, but previously, no. But I do think that they've gotten to the stage where, you know, again, they've gone through a lot, but again, it's always just enduring. Do you know what I mean? So it's always on Jess's part where she's, like, sitting back. Like, even when she did the, like, I want to get to know Mitch thing, it was always to see how Sammy react. Like, it was, you know, it was just, you know, yeah. And Sammy, he loves his type.
Fair enough. But back to the whole trolling stuff, though.
Yeah.
Like, how were you honestly dealing with it?
It was a lot. And, like, even, like, I think, yeah, it is a lot.
You just didn't deserve it. It didn't warrant, like, you didn't deserve
the
that.
response. Yeah, I know, but
But look, onwards and upwards.
I know. I feel like you go through these stuff in life to learn. Like, I never went through anxiety. I never went through these negative feelings, kind of thing. So it's like,
it's made you stronger, right?
Yeah, and you know, that's why I say I never regret stuff, because, like, yes, I hated the trolling. Yes, you know, I might have had thoughts in my head. Yes, I might, like, yes, but I've kind of every day gets better.
Yeah.
So it's like
You're
I'm
in a better
taking-
place.
Yeah,
and
I
like,
am. Literally.
Look, even when I saw you today, I'm like, you're glistening. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's good to see that you're like overriding it.
Yeah.
And you're not allowing
Yeah.
it to proper get to you.
Yeah,
'Cause
I've
you've not-
literally learned to focus on the positivity. Like, people are lovely. Like, there actually are good people out there with good hearts.
Yeah.
And, I do try to respond to positive messages all the time.
That's
like,
good.
just because, I love nice people. Like, I love nice people. And I love actually genuine people.
Yeah. And let's just reiterate, you and Scott are cool now. So all of Scott's fans don't come from like, you lot are cool. Like, this is all cool. Like, Scott's probably not even going to condone this stuff. Do you know what I mean? So everything's cool and blessed.
Yeah.
What's next in life for you two? Focusing on yourself, happiness, wellness.
Yeah.
you know
yeah,
what?
I feel like just taking every day as it is.
Yeah.
Living in the moment.
Living
really.
in the moment,
it.
spending
Yeah.
time with family and friends. I feel like it's even brought me closer with family and stuff, which is nice. Yeah, just take it every day as it comes, building friendships, building relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Elom, yours. I'm
dug
telling you on
myself a
TikTok.
hole, innit?
You know, he was supposed to be my PT. Before he went on Love Island, yeah, he was always on TikTok live talking about his PT services. So I'm like, you know what, let me try and get every day talking about his PT services. So I said, let me actually try and get one of these PT sessions. DM'd him, got it. I said, you know what? Then I see him on Love Island. I'm like, so that's why.
Do you know what it was? Like, I can't even explain myself, bro. I got to apologize for that. So
Yeah,
apologies
so
for that,
you
bro.
still doing PTing and stuff?
Of course, I'm still running my business. I still have
Yeah.
clients there as well.
I always
Yeah.
see you in Dubai on TikTok. You're always
Yeah,
posting
so-
from Dubai.
Yeah, so I currently have a...
People thought he was in Dubai now.
No, do you know what it was? Do you know what it was? I record content there, and I also have clients out there
Oh,
and business
okay.
ventures out there as well. So
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, I should be going back there.
Are you going to be taking Catherine to Dubai with you?
I've told
He
her
actually
to come.
asked me.
I told her to come.
Good.
I told her
But
to
I
come.
said I don't know what I'm gonna
See,
be doing.
she's the one who's moving. She's
No,
having cold feet.
hardly. Me and the girls planned a girls' trip to Mykonos.
Wow, damn. Catherine and Elom, thank you so much for coming
No
on the
worries.
show.
Thank you.
It was lovely to speak to you.